Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Football Fignuts podcast. This is season 4. I believe it's episode 4. Normally, Craig and I check on that before we start recording. Craig, this is episode 4, right?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Well, I'm Britt. Well, then I'm Britt.
Craig.
And this is episode 4. If you're keeping track at home, it's episode number 154 overall. Seriously, folks. Every week, one of the last things Craig says to me is, what episode number is this? And we just double check it. And the one time I'm like, don't do it. And then Craig goes, all right, 3, 2, 1. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't check the episode number. Literally the first thing in my head is I'm going, hello.
We're early in the season. We're okay.
It's early in the season. And let me tell you, honestly, Craig, you are going to do a lot of talking tonight because I am absolutely exhausted. I hosted a charity event last night online. And I am tired of hearing myself talk, which is a word that people who know me never thought they would ever hear me say those words.
No.
I am absolutely tired of hearing myself talk, so be prepared to do a lot of talking tonight. But first, we start where we always start. Craig, what are you drinking?
So because of my weird schedule, right?
Yeah.
I kind of use Wednesdays as like my Saturday.
Yeah.
That sounds weird. So
yeah.
I actually, with dinner, I had one of the cans that we bought together. I had the Double Cloud.
From New Park?
Yes, from New Park.
What did you think of the So wait a minute, you're not drinking a beer right now?
No, I am. I'm just saying I had that with dinner.
All right.
So I had Double Cloud. Very good. Very good.
Very good.
Double IPA. Very good. If you get
Very
the chance
solid.
to have it, you should.
Yeah.
But my beer for the podcast is by New Park. It's Dreamer.
That's the other one we bought. That's also very good. It's also very good. For me, I'm drinking something you gave me. Superhero Sidekicks IPA by Kings County Brewers. I may have already had this on the air. I don't 100% remember. I think it might have been my second beer last week.
I love the can
either way,
art.
The can art, yes, it's very comic booky.
Yes.
But my wife says to me as I'm heading to the fridge, "Oh, what are you drinking tonight?" I said, "Whatever's closest to the front." I'm not being picky tonight. We didn't buy anything new. I'm just going to grab whatever is closest to the front of the fridge. So we're going to pop this bad boy open. There we go.
It goes.
Okay, and as always, folks, this is our as advertised, I should say. That's the proper phrase. This is our tight end kicker defense extravaganza. It is, for the record, my least favorite episode of every season because I just don't care.
No, because there's the top 5 tight ends, and then there's everyone else, and then it doesn't really matter.
And I would defy you to tell me 5 kicker names off the top of your head. Go.
Kicker? Oh, I thought you meant tight end.
5 kickers. No, 5 kickers off the top of your head.
Greg
Go.
Zuerlein.
1.
Raul Alegre.
Retired, and I think moved to Mexico, actually. See, exactly. Nobody knows anybody's kickers except... Can you even tell me who the kicker on Cincinnati is?
Damn it.
See? You don't even know your own kicker. That's it. You don't even know your own kicker.
You know what it is for me? For so long, it was the Nuge. It was Nugent.
Yes.
And for whatever... I don't know why. And I think it's because he became the Jets kicker.
Yes.
I watched Jet games. I'm okay with the Jets. Like, it's ingrained in my head that he's the Bengals kicker, and he hasn't been for years.
For
some
10
reason,
years now,
it is.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll give you a little knowledge right off the top. Your kicker's name, because I'm looking it up right now, is Randy Bullock.
Yes.
Randy Bullock.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at him on one of the sites that I like, you can actually click a plus sign next to a player's name. It tells you why they rank somebody the way they ranked them.
Yeah.
Next to his ranking is the words "no comment available."
Perfect.
So not even the pro sites care about the kickers.
Who's the Chiefs kicker? He just actually got a contract, didn't he?
It's Harrison Butker. Yeah, but he's like our second or third biggest cap hit for like the next 5 years. They signed up like a 4-year, $15 million deal that was all backloaded.
To be a kicker.
So he signed he's a kicker. He before the Mahomes deal, he was the second or third biggest hit on our cap calculator for 2021. Not the season coming up, but the season after. He was going to be one of the biggest hits that we had. And obviously the Mahomes deal changed everything in the universe, so that can't possibly still be true. But yeah, the kicker. So I have no illusions about this. Harrison Butker is unlikely to be a Chief after the season, but just saying. So all right, so we're gonna talk our tight ends, kickers, and defense. But really quick, let's do some burning hot takes. Craig, are you giving or are you receiving this week?
I'll give.
All right, what do you got for me?
All right, so as of today, being July 22nd, the NFL...
In the good year of our Lord 2020.
Yes. The NFL and the Players Association have agreed to no preseason games due to COVID.
Yep.
For you, does this matter in how you rank players? Does it matter at all to you? Does it matter to the NFL or fantasy?
It does, because I've already, why it doesn't matter to me is because I've already downgraded people who are in new situations.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've been very clear about this. Rookie wide receivers and rookie quarterbacks are getting a notch down this year than they typically would. I'm not worried about the running backs quite so much. We had this discussion a lot during the Scott Fishbowl draft. There was a lot of times where you guys were like, what about A.J. Dillon's name kept coming up repeatedly. And I'm like, I'm taking all rookies down a peg, but I'm also taking wide receiver and quarterback rookies down an extra peg because of that lack. I'm anticipating a break of camp and an interruption to the preseason. I was expecting it. I was ready for it. So to me, no. But does it matter in the game? Yeah, we're going to see some some sloppy. Did I say floppy?
You did.
I tried to say sloppy football, and I almost said floppy sootball. I've had one sip of my beer. I told you folks I'm tired. God damn it. I think we're going to see some sloppy play because guys just aren't going to have the familiarity. But in terms of how I'm ranking players, no, because I've already factored in to my calculations that I think there's going to be a problem. What about you?
I'm okay with it because ever since long ago, and I'm still scarred by it, clearly.
Thousands of years ago.
The Kijana Carter incident.
Oh, my God.
Where I don't know, it was the first series of offensive plays in a preseason game, and he tore his knee. And ever since then, I've been very anti preseason games.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it. I know that players just need to get back in the groove of it, and preseason helps them do that. But seriously, if you think about it, people who are going to start, the team, the coach, the owner, they already know, barring injury, they already know who's going to start.
Yes.
And I think it just adds to that, someone getting hurt, and then
Were you in the league the year of the great Michael Vick incident?
Probably.
So we all got together just to date ourselves here. The league, our commissioner held a league meeting at Ruby Tuesdays about a month before the draft, and everyone showed up, and we decided on the fly that we were going to name our keepers that night, that we were going to officially record our keepers just to build up the drama to the draft, and everybody could then go back. We only got to keep one player. Well, our dear friend and an occasional contributor, Keith, kept Michael Vick. Not even joking, 2.5 hours later, Michael Vick had a season-ending injury in a preseason game, in the only drive he was supposed to play that night. And Keith was on record as saying that guy is my keeper. This is like early in his career. I could not tell you the year that he missed. I remember people remember it because Arthur Blank was reeling him around in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Remember that? There was pictures of Arthur Blank. The owner was pushing this guy around in a wheelchair. And poor Keith had named him already. And I was kind of like, we should, take a step back on this. And if I remember correctly, our commissioner, who is, by the way, the source, said, you know what? If he asks for leniency, we'll bring it to the league. And Keith never asked for leniency. Never. He was just kind of like, them's the breaks. My keeper died. Kind of like last year. Our starting quarterback in a startup dynasty retired a week after we drafted him.
He did.
Who knew Andrew Luck was going to retire?
I guess he did, and no one else.
He was our second-round pick. Our first-round pick was Ezekiel Elliott, who I then promptly traded like 2 weeks later for a bag of chips, a hand of Michael, a fistful of beans, and a promise of a free cup of coffee, if I remember correctly. I think Joe Flacco might have been in that deal as well. I don't know.
You might have been.
But yeah, so No, I'm not going to miss the preseason. I'm sorry. That was at the week I said I'm not going to talk a lot. I gave you the longest rambling answer of all time.
It's
What about
fine.
you? Are you worried about the preseason cancellation?
No, I'm not, because I just, same thing. I just don't want. I hate to see players get hurt in general,
Right.
but for a preseason game, it doesn't, it's for nothing,
Yeah. What are you getting out of it?
So.
Is essentially it. So, okay. For you, I had two lined up today,
Oh.
and now I got to decide. So I'm going to let you pick your poison. Do you want to talk about, we'll do this like the game show. Like, you ever watch The Pyramid?
Yeah.
Where they give you like the most vague categories.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it'll be like, hey, bud, I'm thirsty. And it's like, name these 7 things that are liquid. Something like that. All right. Would you like to talk about players or procedures?
Ooh. You know what? We just talked about players, sort of. So let's go
Okay.
procedures.
Okay. Earlier today, the NFL announced that fans will be required to wear masks if they are invited to attend an NFL game.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from making it sound like they're throwing a cotillion, what are your thoughts about A, mask requirements inside the stadium, and B, the fact that there might even be fans in games? Just to give you a little background on this, the Jets and Giants have already announced they won't have fans until further notice. The Falcons are planning to limit it to 20,000. The Rams say they will have fans at a limited capacity or won't at all. And the owner of Vegas, Mark Davis, says he does not anticipate fans at home games for at least their first week. So every team seems to be approaching this differently, but the league is like, no matter how you approach this, fans are wearing masks. Your thoughts?
I think it's a good idea, clearly, because it is going to be a lot of people. I don't think there should be fans there this year, especially, we're in the Northeast, we're in the tri-state area. Luckily, and not to get into if you like governors around here or not or whatever, I think the tri-state area has done a really good job with trying to control the spread of COVID.
Hey, simple fact.
Yeah.
On July 22nd, 2020, Connecticut, where Craig and I live, has the lowest spread rate in the nation.
And no deaths as of this morning.
We had none as oh, that's so nice to hear.
But then you have all these other states that opened early, and now there's giant surges. And a lot of those states have football teams.
I don't want to go political because I go political all the goddamn time, but what the hell is wrong with Georgia? Can somebody explain to me?
Same thing that's wrong with Texas and Florida?
But more so, Atlanta's mayor tries to put a mask mandate in place, and the governor goes, no, you can't. I can't protect my residents from an illness. I can't.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't want to hear that whole civil liberties BS. I don't want to hear it. I've said it before. I'll say it again. You get into a car sober to drive it. You put on a seatbelt, and you follow a prescribed set of rules that you learned when you got your driver's license.
Right.
Every day the government tells you what to do to maintain your personal safety.
Yeah. You can
So
get
I don't want to
get
hear
a ticket for
I don't
not
wanna
having
hear-
your seatbelt on.
Yeah, I don't want to hear wearing a mask is a violation of my personal rights. I don't want to hear it. Because every single day, every person who lives in America goes outside and they follow a set of rules dictated by, shockingly, the government to safely lead their lives.
Yes.
So why on earth a mask is the final straw for these gun-toting idiots? I have no idea.
It's
It just
quick
boggles my
aside,
mind.
Quick aside about masks, really
Go
quick.
ahead, because I just went off on it.
What's really it's sort of funny, but it's not funny. You see all these nurses and doctors making videos, and they put on an oxygen monitor on their finger. And first they don't have a mask on. It shows their oxygen level, and then they put on like 3 different masks. Their oxygen level does not change.
Yes.
At all. I actually saw a couple actually go up.
Yeah. Let's not mince words here. Everyone who is put on a mask, it's harder to breathe. Your body may not show the signs of it. You may still. It's physically harder to breathe, but so is the act of breathing through any form of apparatus. Have I ever told you the story, really quick side, about It's a tight end episode. Who cares if I get to actual rankings?
Like I said, there's
did I ever tell you
5
the
tight
story?
ends. That's it.
I'll tell you about the story. I think it was my gallbladder failure. I was stuck in the hospital for almost a month.
Yep.
I think it was like 3 weeks I was stuck in the hospital. So in week 2, a respiratory therapist gives me this, what looks like a toy, and says, you've been bedridden for almost 2 weeks. You need to keep your lungs strong. And gives me this series of activities. I have to blow into this tube and keep a ball floating at a certain level.
Oh, yeah. It's like the
And
asthma
idea-
test.
It's similar, except, it's a guy who's stuck in a bed, and we're worried that your lungs are going to crap out while you're stuck in bed. So she's like, you have to keep it suspended for 10 seconds, and you have to do it 5 times an hour. She forgot the part that says an hour a day.
Oh dear.
So at 11 a.m., I pick it up, and I make the ball float, and I put it down. 5 minutes later, I pick it up, I make the ball float, I put it down. I repeat this. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm in respiratory distress. A nurse walks in, and I am blue in the face. This ball is resting on the bottom of the cup, and I'm going into a tiny hose. And she's like, oh, my God. And they call the code. They're like, and then, of course, what does the doctor do? The doctor runs in there and goes, what happened? I can't breathe right now. You want me to talk? How on earth am I supposed to tell you what happened? But it was hysterical. They gave me the wrong, so listen, I get it. Pushing or taking in air with a restriction is hard. We get that. But it's not going to kill you. And it's not a violation of your precious freedoms. Put on a damn mask, folks. Just do it. All right, I'm getting off my soapbox. What else you got for me tonight? I can't believe I never told you that story before. It was hysterical. I'm laying in bed. I'm barely conscious. I can hear code blue, room 217. All I can think to myself is, I think I'm in room 217.
Wait, I'm the only one in this room.
No, there was. I did. I had another person, and my next thought was, oh my God, what's happening to him? Oh, that was funny. All right, go on. What do you got for me?
So the next thing would be, and this doesn't really matter at all, but have you seen the reaction of players to their Madden ratings?
No.
Some people are really offended, especially rookies. Like, there was a video of Chad Johnson telling, what's his name? The one in Denver, Judy, the receiver, telling him
Jerry Judy.
Jerry Judy, telling him his Madden rating, his overall rating. He's a rookie, so it's like, I don't know, it's like 85 or something. And this kid got really upset. He got up and walked away from the screen and then came back. It was just amusing because Chad Johnson's laughing at him, being like, he's like, bro, you're a rookie. They don't know how to rate you yet.
Yeah, so
you have to show them something.
Take it as an opportunity and go prove them wrong. Just take it as an opportunity and go prove them wrong.
I just find it amusing.
So just a 2 quick asides, by the way. It is Zeke's 25th birthday today, so happy birthday to Ezekiel Elliott.
Happy
Big fan
birthday.
Of the show.
I hope
sure
you feel
listens.
better.
I'm also on Twitter right now, just trying to keep up on the news, and Matt Harvey is trending.
Uh-oh.
Because apparently Met fans, like myself, are already so desperate that they found out Matt Harvey is pitching in Korea, and they want the Mets to offer him a contract to come back. But most of the messages are things like, holy shit, Matt Harvey isn't coming back. You don't have to like it, but you have to accept it.
Wow.
So the season has not even started yet, and the Mets are already failing. I just can't. By the way, just so you know, the other option that you passed down was Devontae Freeman's contract status. Just so you know, Devontae Freeman has changed agents, but more correctly, his agent dumped him.
Oh,
and
that's
so
sad.
he has turned to the agent that everyone else turns to when they're desperate, overpriced,
Is it Drew Rosenhaus?
and have nowhere to go. It's Drew Rosenhaus. He
How
has
did I know
signed
that?
with Drew Rosenhaus. After saying, I would sit out 2020 unless I made $4 million this year, and every team going, good luck with that, he has signed with Drew Rosenhaus.
I wonder what his commission is. Must be insane.
And you know what? It is. You know what? You think about it. Think about like people who've been like a lot of car accidents, and they go in there. Your premium is $299 per month. And you're like, holy crap, that's like 3 times. Well, you have 3 times the accidents of everybody else, and I'm the only one who'll do it. Drew Rosenhaus did the same thing. You don't want to pay 29%? Go ahead and find another agent. Good luck. Nobody wants to touch you. This is Antonio Brown's agent.
It is.
Should we take a moment to acknowledge that he retired again?
He retired again. Officially, sort of, kind of, again. Yes.
It's 3 now, right?
I think it's...
Because the first time it was, I'm done with the NFL.
Yep.
And then it was, I don't care if I never play another NFL game. And then this time it was, I'm definitely done. So
he's done.
He's done. I'm done. All right, let's move on to the tight end rankings. Let's just get this over with because no one cares. No one cares. And you know what? The faster we go through the tight ends, the more time we'll have to spend on kickers and defenses. Preview, we won't. All right, so our rankings are in, the consensus rankings. We have Travis Kelce at 1. Big shock there. Only Sean rated him outside of number 1. He gave George Kittle number 1 and rated Kelce at 2. So everybody on our team has Kelce at 1 and Kittle at 2, except Sean, who has him flip-flopped. Craig, you're sitting there. It's time to take a tight end. Both Kelce and Kittle are staring you in the face. Make a judgment call.
Wow, just picking one off the top of my head.
Rankings aside. Rankings aside. We rank them aside.
I'm gonna go Kittle, only because Kelce. Like, I feel like Kelce's weakness is when the defense gets to him.
Oh, he's a hothead.
And like, as soon as he gets like, if like a corner or linebacker like pisses him off, that throws off his whole game. And I just feel in that sense, Kittle's more consistent.
A year ago, I would have absolutely agreed with you, but that book was out on him this year, and he kept his cool throughout most of the 2019 campaign. So I think he may have grown a little bit. Now, watch that. I say that he's going to clothesline the first guy in game 1.
Suspended for 6 games.
6-game suspension, which he'll then protest, play games 2 and 3, and get it whittled down to 4 and miss the meat of the season instead of the opening.
Yep.
All right, so we have Kelce at 1, Kittle at 2. We have Zach Ertz at 3. Craig and I are not Zach Ertz fans. That was because Sean and Cinch. Yeah, Sean and Cinch have him up there. We have Mark Andrews at 4. Again, I actually had Andrews ahead of Ertz this year. Craig did not, but we haven't even gotten to the names of the people Craig had at 3 and 4. So, let's just do that. So our top 5. I'm looking just to make sure. Nope, I'm the one who screwed that up. All right, our top 5 were mostly consensus. So ironically enough, we have Kelce, Kittle, Ertz, Mark Andrews, and then Darren Waller. And that's exactly how Cinch rated them.
Really?
So, yes, Cinch actually got our 1 through 5 dead on.
Huh.
None of us else agreed on the top 5. Sean has all 5 in the top 5, but he has them in a different order. I actually have Waller at 6, and you have Andrews at 6. Tell me why you have Andrews rated low.
Compared to Waller?
You have 3 spots in between them.
So my thing is, I feel like with Lamar Jackson there, and everyone's seeing how much he runs, he's going
like
to
Patrick
be
Mahomes.
Right. He's always going to be run first, right? And I feel like the way he plays, he's not going to throw to Andrews as much as, say, how many looks Waller's going to get.
See, but then the same logic should apply to Kelce. Mahomes is a running quarterback too, and yet Travis
but I feel like Lamar runs more.
Okay. The other person you had ahead of Mark Andrews was Evan Ingram, who, if he gets hurt one more time, is probably on a milk carton.
That's
you think he's going to stay healthy this year? We have Ingram at 6.
I hope so. I think the Giants are going to be one of the teams that improves this year, and Ingram's going to be a big part of it. But
Ingram we have at 6. I should also mention that Sean had the exact same top 6, except he flipped Kelce and Kittle. So he had 3, 4, 5, and 6 all in the same row. So just to recap, we have Kelsey, Kittle, Ertz, Andrews, Waller, Ingram. And then we have at number 7, Jared Cook. And this is where I screwed the rankings up because I put Jared Cook at number 5.
Really?
I just found an error in the rankings.
Oh, no.
I don't think it affects anything that's happened so far, but it might affect other people, so I'm doing a real quick redata sort.
Whoops.
Stand by.
This is live.
Okay, fixed.
Good.
So I'm going to alter our formula for next year, by the way, because we literally rank the players 1 through 20, and then I assign them a score and take an average across all of the folks who rank them. But what happens when someone doesn't get ranked? Well, I've automatically assigned them the score of 21, that they're automatically the 21st player on the list. But you're going to find out later in this list, that bumps up people a little bit. If we have one crazy person, like, I don't know, Dallas Goedert, who one person ranked at 6 because they think Philly's going to throw the ball all over the place and nobody else ranked him, that actually moves him up a few notches.
Really?
So I'm gonna alter that. Yeah, we're gonna get to that in a second. But Jared Cook, I'm the idiot who pushed Jared Cook up a notch or 2. I think that having another year in that offense, I also think I heard one of the Saints beat writers today talk about they expect Emmanuel Sanders and Jared Cook to cut into the targets for Michael Thomas. Not significantly, but probably about 10%. For a normal wide receiver, that would be scary. But we're talking about Michael Thomas, who's averaged about 11 to 12 targets per game last year.
So he misses 4.
Well, but are you really concerned about a guy who had 165 targets going down to 150?
Not really.
Exactly.
No.
And that's exactly what we're talking about. So I think Jared Cook is actually a sneaky buy this year. So I have him at number 7. So let me ask you this. Okay, so Kelsey, Kittle, and Ertz are the big 3. Andrews is up there at 4. How early is too early to take Kelsey, Kittle, or Ertz in a standard redraft? I think like round 5.
Oh, definitely. Anything before round 5 would be too early.
But around round 5. Now,
like
you get to round
maybe 6, 7-ish. But then by 6 or 7, just because of how
they're
people
gone.
are, Kelsey and Kittle will be gone, but like Darren Waller should still be there.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm looking at Waller, Andrews, and Ingram in that 8th roundy range. Jared Cook is a sneaky like 8th or 9th rounder. He is not going to be high on a lot of people's radars.
Yeah.
I really think he's a sneaky pick this year.
For me, unless your league gives tight ends an extra bonus, they're worth waiting for.
Yeah. Like that was the problem we had in the Scott Fish Bowl, is that tight ends get 1.5 PPR. That's significant for a guy who gets a lot of volume. Like that pushes Kelsey up to the 1st round.
Yeah.
That puts Kelsey almost on 50 catches for Kelsey is 75 points.
That's a lot.
50 catches for Kelsey is the same as 75 catches for any wide receiver. That matters. For a Kelsey or a Kittle, that matters. So we got Jared Cook at 7. We got Hunter Henry at 8. Hunter Henry's got to stay healthy.
He does. That would be nice.
Tyler Higbee at 9. We're kind of a mixed bag on Tyler Higbee. Sean and I both have him in the top 10. Craig and Cinch don't. C'est la vie. I mean, that's not a big deal. Hayden Hurst at number 10. I kind of went with the pack on Hayden Hurst.
Yeah,
I don't know what to think of him.
He got hurt. He was like in the draft he was the best tight end coming out of college, and then he hurt his foot, and yeah.
Then at number 11 we have Austin Hooper. Craig is the Austin Hooper truther. Now, here's my problem with you ranking Austin Hooper. You have him ranked 9th. His consensus is 11. You hate Cleveland. You scream daily how overrated they are.
I do.
They now have 2 pass-catching tight ends.
They do. Here, the reason why I ranked him there and not Njoku was because at the time, well, even when I know I sent this to you late, but still, my thing is Njoku doesn't want to be in Cleveland.
No, he doesn't. That's true.
He does not. He actually just kind of reneged on all of that and said, "Oh, I want to be here," and blah blah blah. But I feel like no one in Cleveland who's been in Cleveland like the last 2 seasons wants to be in Cleveland.
Right.
Austin Hooper purposely signed there. So to me, that was like, well, all right. At least he wants to be there. I can't say that about anyone else there.
And Austin Hooper coming there is basically him walking up to David Njoku and going, "Did you like it here? I hope you enjoyed your time here." And then walking off because he's not going somewhere he doesn't think A, he has a chance to win, B, he's going to make a ton of money, and C, he's going to play.
Yeah.
So I'm shocked that you ranked any Cleveland Brown that high.
I know what, and you know what? On the side, I hope David Njoku gets a new job somewhere. I feel like he can be a good tight end somewhere else.
We had this conversation. What amazing great potential would he have in New England right now?
Oh, he'd be amazing because Cam Newton loves tight ends. Cam Newton is, I'm going to run. I can't run. I'm going to throw it to the tight end. And
Newton loves tight ends. Like every tight end since Ben Coates has had some sort of solid role in their offense, unless they're terrible.
Well,
every team's gonna you're gonna do that. You're gonna draft guys that look really good on paper and have one really good day of game film, and then you get them in camp, they're gonna be terrible. But think about the tight ends that have come out of there. Aaron Hernandez before he went to jail, Rob Gronkowski, Ben Coates, all these guys that have played in New England. Brady's part of it. The coaches are still there, folks. Bill Belichick is still wearing the hoodie.
Yep.
So. At number 12, we have a guy I thought Craig would have ranked higher in Noah Fant. And at number 13, we have TJ Hawkinson, the other former rookie. Fant and Hawkinson, Craig, same situation. You got to pick one. Who do you like? I know you like them both. That's why I'm throwing you to the bus here.
I'm going to go with Fant only because Hawkinson has gotten hurt more. So
I'm going to go with Hawkinson just because he's got a more stable QB situation.
That's fair.
Matt Stafford, way more stable than Drew Lock. Way more stable. Next on the list is this is where the corrections start kicking in. So you were going to have Rob Gronkowski on your list, but actually because of the error, it's Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith is the number 14 running back for us, and Rob Gronkowski is number 15. I was shocked by this just because Cinch failed to put Gronk in the top 20.
Did he?
Yes, I have Gronk at 15. So do you. We have a consensus at number 15. Jonnu Smith, I have Jonnu Smith at 11 based off potential. Based off potential. It's Ryan Tannehill, folks. He is not launching the ball to Devontae Parker every down. And if he does, he's going to get picked off half the time. And at some point, he's going to walk out in the second quarter of a game this year and look around and go, I'm sorry, I'm saying the wrong guy, aren't I?
Not
Devontae Parker. Not Devontae Parker. A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown.
That's what I'm thinking of. He's going to get picked off. He's going to walk out in the second quarter. Right. Or Corey Davis, either or. Pick your pick. Is Corey Davis still there?
Oh, he's still there.
Okay.
Voice trails off.
Well, that's your point. I got you. Corey Davis just sort of fades away. So he's going to walk out in the second quarter at some point and say, man, I've thrown 3 picks and we're down by 10. I've got to throw the ball. Who am I going to throw to? And Jonnu Smith is going to tap him on the shoulder and go, I hope you enjoyed your time here in Tennessee. And he's going to have to throw the ball to Jonnu Smith. He's going to have to. He's still Ryan Tannehill. Don't. As much as I was impressed by their playoff run, he's still Ryan Tannehill, folks. Don't forget this.
Now, how do you feel about Delaney Walker? I mean, he's still there, isn't he?
Is he?
I think he is.
He did not make our rankings. Delaney Walker's done.
Make anybody's rankings.
Delaney Walker is Evan Ingram if he has another injury.
Holy crap!
There, I said it.
Do you know how old Delaney Walker is?
He's got to be like 37.
He's 35. Wow, I did not realize he was 35.
Been around a long time. All right, so number 16 in our rankings is Jack Doyle. Jack Doyle is the Frank Gore of the tight end set.
He's going to have a big game.
Well, no, not that. He's going to have a big game. Good luck telling me when it's going to happen.
Eventually.
I'm going to start the good luck telling me Hall of Fame. And its initial inductors are going to be Frank Gore, Jack Doyle, and Byron Pringle. Because these guys...
I would add Mike Evans to that list.
Mike Evans. You know what? I heard Pro Football Focus this week. I can't remember who it was from Pro Football Focus off the top of my head, but he was going off on the Mike Evans haters. And he's like, this guy's got 6 seasons of 1,000 yards. I'm like, he does.
He does.
The problem isn't that he has 6 seasons of 1,000 yards. It's that those 1,000 yards each season come in a combination of 4 games.
And you don't know when they were going to be.
He has 4 games over 200 yards. Exactly. You know what? I'm going to do it on the fly. I'm going to interrupt my rankings.
Let's do it. We have time.
Mike, yeah, who cares? Nobody cares about this.
No, after
it's
the
tight
first
ends.
After the first 5 people turn this podcast off already. It doesn't matter.
It's tight ends. No one cares. I don't care.
Deb cares. Does Deb care? Hi, Deb.
Yes, thank you, Deb. Hi, Deb. Okay. All right, let's see here. I'm looking at ProFootballReference.com. How many games of 100 yards or more did Mike Evans have, in your opinion? Keeping in mind he missed 1 game. He had 1 game with no catches. He had 3 targets and no catches.
Last season.
2019, how many games of over 100 yards did he have?
5.
3. How many games of over 125 yards did he have?
2.
3. How many games of over 150 yards did he have?
2.
3. How many games of over 175 yards did he have?
Same answer, 2.
3. In retro order, here's his best yardage performances of 2019. Okay. 198, 190, 180, 89. You heard that right, folks. Game 3, 180. Game 4, 89. He has almost 600 yards in 3 games. If you take those 3 games away, hold on, I'm doing the math. So we had 1,157 yards.
Okay.
He had 1 game of 198. He had 1 game of 190. And he had 1 game of 180.
Okay.
That means and he played 13 games. So in the other 10 games, he had 589 combined yards. He averaged 59 yards a game.
Oh my God.
If you take away his 3 best performances, he averaged 59 yards a game. That is why I don't understand the Mike Evans love.
Me either.
And Pro Football Focus is like, he's got 1,100 yards or more in 6 straight seasons. But they've all come in a total of 15 games across 6 seasons.
Yeah, he has outstanding games 3 times a year. You just don't know when it's going to be.
Yes. Well, maybe it's pass volume. No, because in week 6 last year against Carolina, he was targeted 17 times and caught 9 of them and didn't break 100 yards. 3 weeks before that, he was targeted 15 times for 8 catches for 190 yards. He was targeted 2 times less, caught 1 fewer ball, but had almost 100 yards more.
Yeah, no, I'm staying away from that. That's no.
Don't
For me,
come crying to me about how good Mike Evans is. He's inconsistent. Bob Lung, if you have not seen the consistency guide by Bob Lung, go look it up because it is worth the read. And Mike Evans just makes him cry. So, all right, believe it or not, we're running out of time here. So we had Jack Doyle at 15. 16 is Dallas Goedert because Cinch is big on Dallas Goedert.
He got punched in the face.
He's the only one who ranked Dallas Goedert, and he gets up to 16 because of it. Or is that 17? I've lost track.
I don't know. I have the wrong listing
That's
now,
17.
so we have to go by what you say.
Right. That's 17. 18 is Mike Gesicki. I feel this guy's going to have some sort of season eventually. 19 is Chris Herndon. Number 20 is CJ Uzoma, mainly because we drafted him in the Scott Fishbowl, and I need to justify that. Number 21 is Eric Ebron. Number 22 is Will Dissly. Will Dissly, if he stays healthy, could be good. He could be really good. Stay healthy, Will Dissly. Stay healthy. I think we drafted him too. That was number 22. Number 23 is Blake Jarwin because Sean ranked Blake Jarwin. End of story. Number 24 is O.J. Howard. I can't believe he's still on this list, as is number 25, Kyle Rudolph. I ranked Kyle Rudolph at 20th just because if by some miracle fate he stays on his feet, he will be decent. And then in dead last at 26th, because only Sean ranked this person,
Good
is
job,
Ian
Sean.
Thomas of Carolina. I actually had to say to Sean, because he said, I'll take Thomas the last one. I went, Thomas who? So really quickly, because we got to move on to our kickers and defenses really quickly. We've got Kelsey, Kittle, Ertz, Andrews, Waller, Ingram, Cook, Henry, Higbee, Hurst, Hooper, Fant, Hawkinson, Jonnu Smith, Rob Gronkowski, Jack Doyle, Dallas Goedert, Mike Gesicki, Chris Herndon, and CJ Uzomah as our top 20. And then Ebron, Disley, Jarwin, Howard, Rudolph, and Ian Thomas round out the also-rans. So a tight end rarely makes or breaks your team. I really hope it doesn't. All right, kickers and defenses, really quick. What's to say about kickers and defenses? You got to draft one. You got to draft one.
You got to draft one. Look at their schedule.
That's exactly it. So the guy I'm endorsing this year is Matt Gay from Tampa Bay. Aside from the fact that his name rhymes with the team city, Matt Gay's off week is week 13, and Tampa could have a very high-scoring offense. Could be good. So I'm looking at him because he is that deep. I mean, Justin Tucker is always highly ranked. Harrison Butker. My advice to folks is look for teams you think are going to score a lot of points. Okay, so Baltimore, Kansas City, Tampa, New Orleans, obviously, San Francisco. Yeah. Robbie Gould is out there. Dallas. Greg Zuerlein is in Dallas now. If it's a team that you think is going to score a lot of points,
dome kickers, no weather.
Dome kickers. Dan Bailey is in Minnesota now. Well, he was in Dallas. He wasn't very good in Dallas, so I don't know if I could really say that. But the name of the year though is the guy kicking for Atlanta, who is Young Ho Koo. I don't know anything about him other than his name, but that's the name of the year. But you're also talking to a guy who once drafted Yancey Thigpen simply because of his name. So that's our kicker preview. Defense, I draft based on turnover ratio. I look for guys who get a lot of sacks. I look for guys who get turnovers a lot. And historically, as much as I rank on them, Pittsburgh's pretty good in that category. I really like the Raven defense this year. Stay away from defenses that give up huge chunks of yards and give up a lot of points, a la New England, in my opinion. New England is very highly rated on some sites. They're not highly rated on my site. Craig, give me one or two defenses you think would be good picks this year in fantasy.
Good picks for me would be probably the 49ers, the Ravens. The Bills' defense is actually pretty solid, especially now that Brady's not in the AFC East anymore. That division's up for grabs.
Talk a little bit, too. How does special teams factor into this for you? Does special teams factor into these decision-makings for you?
You know, it used to, especially because I was in a few leagues where special teams got more points. Like, we got points for yardage on return points for yards. So that matters, but that's definitely a stat you can look into. Like, you don't want defenses that give up. Not that it happens often, but it does happen, and you have to look at that too. Like, who has in that division of that defense, who has the best return team? So you have to look at that. Like, yardage is allowed.
Absolutely. I tend to avoid that. I tend to focus on the defensive turnovers and things of that nature. But Chicago, when Devin Hester was there, and those guys were returning a lot of kicks, that was a big factor. So
no, I will say after 2 seasons ago, or was it last year? 2 seasons ago? I don't know. Time's irrelevant in my head right now.
Time has become meaningless.
When I drafted the Bears defense in most of my leagues, because Sean was like, "Oh, the Bears defense is amazing." Yeah, it was awful. Awful.
Don't listen to Sean.
Awful.
Don't ever listen to Sean. Don't ever listen to what Sean says. Do what Sean does. Sean will talk all day about how the Bears are good. If he passes over the Bears defense in the draft, that's your sign that he's just talking them up. There's your sign. So the best thing you can do in our home draft is anger Sean. Because if you take somebody that he had his eye on, then you know you've probably just made a reasonable choice. And that's just honest fact right there. Just this honest fact.
That's true.
If he looks at you and goes, "You son of a..." Yep.
Wait a minute. Now, because we were talking about this earlier today, so hypothetically, if we have a Zoom draft somewhere, or, we do have a Zoom draft period.
Yeah.
Who is in charge of Sean's picks? Because now none of us are going to be near him to poke him.
We will have him on camera, looking all fretting and upset. Honestly, if we're going to have to do our this will be the first time we haven't had, and what is this, our 27th year? Our 27th year. This will be the first time we haven't had some form of live draft. We've had people call into drafts before, but we've never had a situation where most folks weren't in one place. This will be the first time we don't have a board tacked to the wall. Yeah. Unless the commissioner's going to do that and have a steady cam on it, which I would not put past the source. I would not put past the source that he creates a fake email and a fake Zoom account called Draft Board and has a stationary camera set on the draft board. I would not put it past him because he's not going to want to answer the question, who's still there? Either that or he's going to find some draft software he likes. He's going to make us use that. That's true.
So, that is true.
Either way. So we're just about out of time, Craig. So that was our fantastic tight end kicker defense preview. Oh, God, I love talking fantasy football. I hate when people, Britt, I'm thinking about these 3 tight ends. And I'm just like, oh, I don't know. And then they come to me with 3 that are actually, should I draft Kittle, Ertz, or Kelsey?
Sure.
Yeah.
Pick one.
Do you have either of their quarterbacks? Well, I have Mahomes. Well, there's your answer. There's your answer, Fishbulb. There it is. So, all right, final thoughts, Craig. What do you got for me this week?
Final thoughts. Everyone, the NFL still has no idea what's going on. We don't know if there's going to be season. We're just assuming there's going to be one. So I'm going to say, just start prepping like there's going to be a normal season.
Yes. Prep as if this is going to happen normally. That way, if it does, you are prepared. If it doesn't, then you can adjust. It is harder to catch up than to slow down and let the pack catch up to you. So think about it that way. It is easier to be ahead and then back up than it is to try and catch up. So definitely look at it that way. My final thought is if you're listening to us, I have several friends who are in hotbed states. I have family in Arizona. I have friends in Texas. Greg, I know you listen once in a while. Hi to Greg.
Hi, Greg.
If you guys are in a hotbed state, be careful out there. Please just take care of yourselves. Like I ranted on before, wear a mask. Just don't be stupid.
Wear a mask. Get delivery.
Yeah, get delivery. Absolutely. Make some pizza at home. I made homemade pizza tonight. It was actually kind of good. Is tomorrow the opening of the season for baseball?
I want to say yes, because T-Mobile
July 23rd. Yep.
T-Mobile sent me my free year of NBL Live, their app where you can watch any game.
MLB.
Except for any local team, which is weird, but you can watch any other team.
Oh, you have cable for that.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Actually, I'm looking at the schedule. So that's my final thought is just go enjoy some baseball in the meantime. Try to pretend there's some level of normalcy out there in the world.
Yeah.
I'm looking tomorrow night is Yankees Nationals.
Enjoy the cardboard and the ads on the field.
I'm fine with that. Fine with it. To the pitching matchup tonight is Scherzer versus Cole. So it's a solid matchup. And then the late game is the Giants at the Dodgers, so it's Cueto versus Kershaw. Those are decent pitching matchups to start the year. The Mets losing streak starts on Friday at 4:10, so I'll look forward to that as they host the Atlanta Braves. So I'll never understand what the Atlanta Braves have over the Mets. They have voodoo dolls of them all somewhere. It's Jobu. Someone of the Mets missed with Jobu's rum. My God, do you know how old that movie is now?
25.
Let's take a look. I think it's older than that.
Really?
1989.
So what is
31 years ago.
Son of a bitch.
31 years old is the Major League movie.
It's an amazing movie.
It is absolutely one of my favorite movies of all time. It only cost $11 million to make, and it made $49 million in the box office, and that's before you factor in the fact that it's been sold 100 times over.
Yep.
But what's his name is fantastic, and the guy who plays the announcer.
Oh
my God.
Bob Uecker.
Bob Uecker is just absolutely amazing in it.
From Mr. Belvedere.
From Mr. Belvedere and Major League Baseball. If you can ever find it, go and find his Hall of Fame acceptance speech. He got inducted into the Hall of Fame as a broadcaster, not as a player.
Really?
And it happened later in life. Oh, he was not a good player. He was not. He was a catcher, if I recall, and he was not very good. And he told a joke. It was the same induction class that Eddie Murray, the famous Baltimore Oriole, I think he was a second baseman, and he played a couple years with the Mets. Eddie Murray got in at the same time. His speech was so funny. Eddie Murray was crying, laughing at Bob Uecker. He told one joke. He's like, I knew the day I had to announce my retirement when I got to the locker room and the security guard said, I'm sorry, sir, only players past this point. And that just broke Eddie Murray. He laughed so hard. If you can find it online, definitely watch it. But yeah, so my final thought is just baseball's back. Go enjoy some baseball. But Craig is right. While you're enjoying some baseball, start your prep for football because it's coming. It's coming, and it's coming hard and fast. So we'll be back next week. Are we going to be back next week? Is next week our off week?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe. We'll let you know.
Maybe. We will let you know on Twitter if we will be back next week. If not, we'll be back in August. If we are back next week, it'll probably be the start of our roundtables. And I think the reason we're still unclear on our schedules is because we have to get multiple people involved in a call for the roundtables, and that's a little bit challenging. But in the meantime, you leave us a review wherever you listen to us. Send us an email with a question about football or the movie Major League at fignutsdfs@gmail.com. Reach out to us on Twitter at fignutsdfs. And overall, just stay safe out there, folks. Just stay safe. All right, until next week, my name is Britt.
I'm Craig.
And we are the Football Fignuts Podcast. Be safe out there, everybody.